Hello everyone. Our today's topic is lung. This is the fourth and last lecture on lung. This is the fourth and last lecture on lung. In third lecture on the lung, I told you about the half of the bronchial tree. About the half of the bronchial tree. I will repeat again some points of third lectures. See, you know that this is the trachea. Trachea is divided into the right principal bronchus and left principal bronchus. Right principal bronchus is divided into three lower bronchus, upper, middle and lower. Three lower bronchus, upper, middle and lower. And left bronchus, it is divided, principal bronchus is divided into the two lower bronchus, upper and lower, upper and lower. Now on the right side, upper lower bronchus is divided into the three segmental bronchi, anterior, apical, anterior and posterior, apical, anterior and posterior. Middle lower bronchus on the right side is divided into two segmental bronchi, medial and lateral, medial and lateral. And the lower bronchus on the right side is divided into five segmental bronchi. One is apical, then anterior basal, posterior basal, medial basal and lateral basal. Again, lower bronchus is divided into the five segmental bronchi, apical, anterior basal, posterior basal, medial basal and lateral basal. Means on the right side total 10 segmental bronchi are present, and on the left side upper lower bronchus is divided into the four segmental bronchi, and lower bronchus is also divided into the four segmental bronchi. In the upper lobe, name of the segmental bronchi, apico-posterior and anterior, apico-posterior and anterior, superior and inferior, superior and inferior. So total four: apico-posterior, anterior, superior, inferior. In the lower lobe, in the left side, one is apical, second is lateral basal, third is posterior basal, and fourth is anteromedial basal. Again, apical, lateral basal, posterior basal, and anteromedial basal. And on the right side, lower bronchus is divided into apical, anterior basal, posterior basal, medial basal and lateral basal. So here the 10 segmental bronchi on the right side and 8 segmental bronchi on the left side. Now suppose we trace any segmental bronchus. Each segmental bronchus is divided to form terminal bronchioli. To form terminal bronchioli. See, this is the terminal bronchioli. It is after the division of the segmental bronchus. Now we trace the terminal bronchioli. Each terminal bronchioli is divided into the respiratory bronchioli. It divided into the respiratory bronchioli. This is the one respiratory bronchioli. This is other respiratory bronchioli. From trachea up to the terminal bronchioli, the whole of principal bronchus, lower bronchus, segmental bronchus and terminal bronchus, they are made up of cartilage. But in respiratory bronchioli, in the whole of bronchus, there is no cartilage. Suppose we trace this respiratory bronchioli. So each respiratory bronchioli is divided into the alveolar duct. This is the one alveolar duct, this is second alveolar duct, this is third alveolar duct. Suppose we trace the alveolar duct, suppose we trace this alveolar duct. So each alveolar duct is divided into the atrium. This is the one atrium, this is second atrium, this is third atrium. Suppose we trace this atrium, this atrium. So each atrium is divided into the air saccule. This is the one air saccule, this is second air saccule, this is third air saccule. And at the end of air saccule, there is a alveoli. There is a alveoli, and alveoli, at the alveoli, the exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide takes place. So from trachea up to alveoli, this whole is called bronchial tree. Again I will repeat, segmental bronchus is divided to form terminal bronchioli divide to from respiratory bronchioli, each respiratory bronchioli divide to the alveolar duct, each alveolar duct is divided to form a atrium, each atrium is divided to from air saccule, and at the end of air saccule there is a alveoli. There is a alveoli. This whole is called bronchial tree. Now it means that now lung, part of the lung which contain one segmental bronchus with its division and redivision up to alveoli, it is called, it forming independent functional unit of lung, and it is known as the bronchopulmonary segment. So what is the bronchopulmonary segment? Part of the lung which contain the one segmental bronchus with ramification up to alveoli, form an independent functional unit of lung. It is known as the bronchopulmonary segment. Now, in the right lung, 10 segmental bronchus are present. It means that in the right lung, there are 10 bronchopulmonary segments. In the left side, the 8 segmental bronchus are there. So left side there is a 8 bronchopulmonary segment. 8 bronchopulmonary segment. See, this is the figure of bronchopulmonary segment. Each bronchopulmonary segment is pyramid in shape, having a base, is broad, and apex is narrow. Base of the bronchopulmonary segment, it is directed toward the surface of lung, and apex, it is directed toward the root of lung. Now this bronchopulmonary segment is separated from adjoining septum. One bronchopulmonary segment here, one is here, by means of connective tissue septum. And this connective tissue septum, it is called intersegmental septum, and intersegmental septum is separate the bronchopulmonary segment of one to the other. Again, bronchopulmonary segment is pyramid in shape. Base is directed toward the surface of the lung. Apex is directed toward the root of the lung. Bronchopulmonary segment separate from the adjoining bronchopulmonary segment by means of connective tissue septum. It is called intersegmental septum. Now each bronchopulmonary segment contains the one segmental bronchus with its division and redivision up to alveoli. It contains the segmental bronchus with its ramification up to alveoli. And along with the segmental bronchus, on one side there is a branch of bronchial artery, and other side there is a branch of pulmonary artery. So segmental bronchus with its ramification up to alveoli present into bronchopulmonary segment. Along with the segmental bronchus, there is a branch of bronchial artery and branch of the pulmonary artery. Now tributary of pulmonary vein, it not follow the segmental bronchus, but the tributary of pulmonary vein, they are running through the intersegmental septum. And this tributary of pulmonary vein, it drains this bronchopulmonary segment and this also. This pulmonary vein, it drains this bronchopulmonary segment and this bronchopulmonary segment. It means that tributary of pulmonary vein drains more than one bronchopulmonary segment. In other words, we can say that each bronchopulmonary segment, it is drained by more than one vein. Now applied anatomy of bronchopulmonary segment. Now the name of bronchopulmonary segment in the right lung and left lung same as the segmental bronchus. Name of the segmental bronchus. Now usually infection of one bronchopulmonary segment, it is not spread to the adjoining bronchopulmonary segment due to the connective tissue septum between them. But some of the disease like a tuberculosis, cancer, is spread from one bronchopulmonary segment to the other by perforating the intersegmental septum. So cancer and tuberculosis spread from one bronchopulmonary segment to the other bronchopulmonary segment by perforating the intersegmental septum. Now the posterior bronchopulmonary segment of upper lobe of right lung. Posterior bronchopulmonary segment of upper lobe of the right lung and apical bronchopulmonary segment of lower lobe of right lung. Again, posterior bronchopulmonary segment of upper lobe of right lung and apical bronchopulmonary segment of lower lobe right lung, they are the common site of abscess formation. Common site of abscess formation. And knowledge of surface position of the bronchopulmonary segment is essential to drain the pus or abscess from the bronchopulmonary segment. Now we come to the blood supply and nerve supply of lung. Now lung is supplied by bronchial artery. I told that on the right side there is a one bronchial artery and left side there are two bronchial artery. One is called upper left bronchial artery, other is called lower left bronchial artery. Upper left bronchial and lower left bronchial artery, they are the branch of descending thoracic aorta. And right bronchial artery, it arises either from third posterior intercostal artery, or it may arise from upper left bronchial artery. Now we come to the venous drainage of lung. Each lung is drained by two bronchial veins. Right bronchial vein are two and left are two. Right bronchial vein, they are open into the azygos vein because azygos vein is situated on the right side. And left bronchial vein, they are drained either into hemiazygos vein or into superior intercostal vein. Now nerve supply of the lung. Nerve supply of the lung. Lung is a viscera, and viscera supplied by autonomic nerve. And autonomic nerve having a two part, sympathetic and parasympathetic. So sympathetic fibers are arises from second to fifth thoracic ganglia. Sympathetic fiber arises from second to fifth thoracic ganglia, and parasympathetic fiber arises from vagus nerve. Parasympathetic fibers are derived from vagus nerve, and sympathetic and parasympathetic fiber, they form a two plexus, one lying in front of the root of the lung and other lying on the root of behind the root of lung. The plexus lying in front of root of lung, it is called anterior pulmonary plexus, and behind it that is called posterior pulmonary plexus. Now parasympathetic fibers, they supply the smooth muscle of bronchus. When they contract, at that time there is a narrowing of the bronchus occur. Parasympathetic fiber, they also supply the gland of the bronchus. If the parasympathetic fiber are stimulated, then secretion of gland is increased. So parasympathetic fibers, they supply the smooth muscle of the bronchus, and they supply to the gland of the bronchus. Now sympathetic fiber, I told you it is derived from second to fifth thoracic ganglia, and action of sympathetic fiber is just reverse to the action of parasympathetic fiber. Now we come to the applied anatomy lung. Now you know that lung, it is a vital organ and it protected into the thoracic cage. But apex of the lung is situated at the root of neck in the inlet of thorax, and it is lying above the medial one-third of clavicle, about 2.5 centimeter. So apex of lung may be damaged in the step wound or in bullet injury, in the stab wound or in the bullet injury. Now, most common disease of the lung is tuberculosis. Apex of the lung is common site for tuberculosis. Apex of the right lung is more common than the apex of left lung because right bronchus it is more line with trachea, because right bronchus is more in line with the trachea. Second common disease of the lung is a pneumonia. Pneumonia, it is due to the infection of pneumococci bacteria. It is due to the infection of pneumococci bacteria. If there is acute infection of pneumococci bacteria, at that time there may be a one lobe of the lung is involved in infection, or it may be generalized into lung. If only one lobe is involved, it is called lobar pneumonia. And when it generalizes into the lung, it is called bronchopneumonia. It is called bronchopneumonia. If one lobe is involved, it is called lobar pneumonia. It is generalized to lung, it is called bronchopneumonia. Now the cancer of the lung, it arises from bronchus, and that is why cancer of the lung is called bronchogenic carcinoma. Cancer of the lung is called bronchogenic carcinoma. One more common disease of lung is asthma. In asthma, the smooth muscles are contract. So there is a narrowing of the bronchus is occur, and due to the narrowing of the bronchus, patient not get sufficient air, and that is why patient is suffering from breathlessness. And inflammation of the bronchus, it is called bronchitis. It is called bronchitis. Today's lecture is over and lung is also over.